everybody, Fertility Journals here. Thank you so much for watching and for subscribing. I realized I got a bunch of new subscribers. Thank you for stopping by. My name is Kay, and I underwent 12 cycles of IVF. I pursued embryo banking, which is when you focus on retrieving first and then transferring later. I'm blessed with a beautiful baby boy that I thank God for every single day. And I hope that you can find peace, motivation, and hope by watching my journey, and that it inspires you just as the YouTube world inspired me when I first started my journey. My playlist is below if you're interested in everything I went through. But today, I am going to take a moment's pause and really just answer a question that I often get, which is deciding the right IVF for you. If you are interested, stay tuned. I relate to it. I went through it myself, trying to figure out the right IVF. You know, I went from IVF is not a choice to try to work through the right treatment. And some of it was trial and error, but I hope that through my experience that you'll be able to at least be informed of the different types of IVF so you can make the right decision for you. The first IVF is what everybody knows, what you hear everybody talking about. What they call IVF is called conventional IVF. Conventional IVF is a great treatment. It involves a lot of medication that is supposed to really stimulate you to get multiple eggs in the chances of getting embryos, and people can build their entire families from one IVF cycle, freeze the embryos, and then use them as they transfer them as they continue on their journey. Now, the thing about conventional IVF, though, did not work out for me. At the time, I did not know why, because my doctors didn't really educate me about the different types of IVF. And so I had to find that out on my own. But the reason that it did not work for me was because I was dealing with age-related infertility. I had diminished ovarian reserve, so I had few eggs. I don't know what those medicines were stimulating. I had very few eggs, sometimes one. My AMH was a 0.1, and I also, I was perimenopausal. So it was really not the right treatment for me. And thankfully, I found out in enough time to have my own biological child. So my doctors rightfully told me to use donor egg because obviously conventional IVF was not going to work for me. But it is a great treatment. And I think if you have it available, you should maybe try it at least once. The second IVF is actually called mini IVF. Mini IVF was a godsend for me and my family. It was what led to the success of my bouncy baby boy. A lot of with mini IVF is that it's reduced treatment. So my body responded a lot better with my mini IVF protocol. My doctor, Dr. Frank Yillian of the Life IVF Center in Irvine, California, specializes in women over 40. And so what was great about finding him was that, number one, all of a sudden IVF was an option through mini IVF. And he does not do conventional IVF, by the way. He only does mini IVF, and the other ones I'm going to talk about. But the mini IVF worked really well because I had fewer eggs also. So you know how you guys my body just started responding. This is not for everybody, but for me, my body started responding. So all of a sudden I would go you go for the follicle checkup, and you see you have maybe 3 eggs. Man, those were the days I had eggs. I used to have eggs. I may not have them now, but I used to have them. 4 eggs. And they would all mature, so I started working with them and all be matured. And actually there was a time when all 4 would be retrieved, which is amazing for women who are older or women who are going through diminished ovarian reserve or poor responders, as they like to call it. So mini IVF worked really well for me, and it was one of the reasons for my success. The third type of IVF is ultra mini IVF. And so I did go through some cycles where the medication was reduced to even a much more smaller dose. And again, a lot of it was related to my diminished reserve. I did not have a lot of eggs. So the doctor didn't want to really mess up with the egg or, get the egg to die. Because, these are chemicals you're putting in your body. I mean, these are medicines you're putting in your body rather. And so if you over medicate, your biology may not work right. So for me, that was the case. And so my doctor was very meticulous to make sure that, was teasing my body to be able to get us to the retrieval stage so that I would have a viable embryo that we could test and see if it could be a baby. And so that is the third type of IVF. The last type of IVF is called natural cycle IVF, and I did undergo natural cycle IVF. In fact, my most recent IVF cycle that I did, my 13th, yes, I did a 13th IVF cycle, and I did a PRP treatment. Stay tuned to my channel so you can watch. I have the journals for that whole process. But embryo banking continues. But natural cycle IVF is one where you do not use any medications at all. And so, and sometimes, my doctor, who specializes in women over 40, he would kind of, watch how the body was responding. And again, with me being perimenopausal, diminished ovarian reserve, MH was a 0.1, FSH was a 24, I was a poor responder. So, I had everything. And so, because again, of age, there was some cycles where no medication and following the natural process of my body before retrieving the egg was actually going to be the best way for me to undergo whatever that specific cycle was. And so folks, there you have it, the different types of IVF. So hopefully that is helpful for you if you are new to this and you have just walked out of the doctor's office and they have given you the shock of your life, which is usually a lot of my viewers, or just like me, like I literally left the doctor's office 4 years ago when I was told donor egg, left the doctor's office and went straight to YouTube because I had the shock of my life. These doctors, the way they tell us these things. Or some of you maybe had a failed cycle and we're just looking at other options. So hopefully this video is helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, IVF is a journey of hope and faith. And so stick with it, create a plan, develop your pathway to baby, and remember, it's okay to try. I have a link below because I get questions all the time about this, to all the supplements I took and what helped me navigate my 12 IVF cycles. So take a quick look at the information bar for more information. My name is Kay. Thank you so much for watching. Until my next video, bye.